scholars! Welcome back to Science with Miss Pearson. Today we are going to be continuing to talk about light. So let's get right into it. So far in science, we've asked and answered a lot of questions about light. We've asked questions like, what are sources of light? What are shadows? How does the light travel? What happens when I light something? And how do I make something dark? We know that there are two types of sources of light. There's natural and artificial sources of light. We know when we light something, it brightens up and we can see it. We know that light travels in a straight line. We know that we can make something dark by blocking out all the light. And we know that shadows are what happens when something blocks or gets in front of the light. Now, this week, we're starting to work on answering some more questions that we came up with about light. So some of our other questions we thought about were, what is the difference between opaque, translucent, and transparent objects? When objects block light, where does the light go? And which objects reflect the most light? Last class, we answered this question. Today, we're going to continue to explore that and investigate the answer to that question by getting a chance to play with shadows. So let's quickly review what opaque, translucent, and transparent means. Who remembers what opaque means? Or what happens with an opaque object? Think and share. An opaque object is an object that blocks the most of the light and makes a good shadow. What about a translucent object? What happens with the translucent objects when I shine a light source on it? A translucent object is an object that blocks some of the light and makes an okay shadow. What about a transparent object? What's cool about a transparent object? A transparent object is an object that blocks very little light and makes bad shadows. Last time, we got to find out, we talked about some different kinds of opaque, translucent, and transparent objects. And we realized that when we looked more closely at these opaque objects, that something they had in common is that we cannot see them. So something that makes an opaque object opaque is that we can't see through it. We noticed that a similarity between translucent objects is that we can kind of see through them. So with translucent objects, you can tell it's translucent because you can kind of see through them. And for transparent objects, what we found was that you can see through transparent objects, and that's what makes them transparent. Now I want to get the chance, or give you all a chance to play with your own shadows and think about how can we make our shadows bigger and how we can make our shadows smaller. So, after you finish watching this video, head back to Seesaw. And on Seesaw, you're going to see these instructions. It says, pick a toy or stuffed animal to use to make a shadow. Use your flashlight, or if you have another source of light, you can use that. And try to figure out how to make the shadow move. Record a video showing what you did. So go ahead and find that stuffed animal and get a light source like a flashlight. If you don't have a flashlight, a lot of times our phones can actually turn into flashlights. And shine that light source on that object. Look at its shadow. See if you can make the shadow move. See if you can make it get bigger or smaller. And then I want you to record a video showing me how you were able to get your shadow to move. I can't wait to see what you all came up with. Bye, scholars. See you on Tuesday.